is 10:57 a.m. So that makes it 5:57 p.m. in British Standard Time. And so I am getting myself settled in to start my cozy reading midday, early afternoon, out on the back patio before it gets too hot. It's supposed to be like 95 today. And so I think it's still like under 80 at the moment. And I have a bit of shade for maybe like another hour or so before my back patio is in full sun. Ooh, and there's like crazy big crows. Ominous. Can you see the crows up there? I don't know if you can see that. Right there on the edge. A bunch of them just flew from my roof to up there on that. I think that's an Italian cypress. You can only see one from here, but there are a few. All right, it's 11 o'clock on the dot. I'm gonna start with Women Talking by Miriam Toews. So it is now just after 12, so a little over an hour in, and I'm preheating the oven for some peanut butter chocolate chip cookies. And I think I didn't pay close attention to where I started officially at 11 because I was reading before. So I think I read roughly 50 pages or so of Women Talking. I'm gonna switch now over to Augustown by Kei Miller. And I'm like, I think I'm 4% in to this, but I'd been reading this in bed at night, and I should have known better, and I can't start a new book in bed because it just doesn't stick, because I just end up falling asleep quite quickly. So I think I'm just gonna go back to the beginning and start from the very beginning so I really can get into the story. So the prologue of this ends with, "For here's the truth. Each day contains much more than its own hours or minutes or seconds. In fact, it would be no exaggeration to say that every day contains all of history." So we had just taken this like from space view of Augustown and what it was and what it is now, what it looks like from afar, and we're kind of like zooming in now into Augustown. So like each day is a microcosm of all of history. The oven's ready. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Okay, so I think what this is really going to be about is the rise of the Rastafarians and the reasoning behind it. So the police are known as Babylon, and if you've listened to reggae music, you'll hear the word Babylon used. And the police were corrupt. They shoot first and make up excuses, reasons later. And so Ma Taffy, who is an older woman, who's telling us this story. She's telling of a time that a young man was accused of stealing money from a woman that there's the cookies. Stealing money from a woman that he was doing work for. And when he reached to get his wallet to show that all he had was the $5 that she paid him, the police shot him and then strapped him to the hood of the Jeep and rode out of town with him. Alexa, stop. And rode out of town with him, like, strapped to the front of the Jeep like he was a hunted hog. I'm gonna give him another minute or so. So Ma Taffy is now talking to this other young man and basically telling him, this has been going on for a long time. You don't know what you're dealing with. Like, you kind of got to stay out of this, because there was kind of a kerfuffle that was happening between the Angola boys, who I guess is like I don't know if they're officially a gang or not. It was just mentioned, and the police, Babylon. So I think that's in general where the story is going, is the rise from being oppressed and under the thumb of the police, and the rise of the Rastafarians. Okay, so then based on what I just told you, this quote now from Ma Taffy, I think kind of sums up the setup to the book and what it's really about. So she's talking to this 17-year-old young man. You don't know fully the fight you involved in and how long it been going on for. What you fighting is Babylon's system. All them things in this life that put a heavy stone on the heads of people like you and me. All them things that cause we not to rise. True, some of we been fighting that fight a long time now. Kei Miller's writing is really beautiful. I'm into the next chapter now, and the little boy Kaya, who's the great nephew of Ma Taffy, he calls her grandma though, is going to tell him the story of the flying preacherman. And so this is the kind of the introduction to that. The distant past comes back to us usually as a shock, an echo that has escaped its own fleetingness, that has widened so wide and so quickly. We have slipped inside it without being ready. It comes, then, as a panic in the heart, a widening of the eyes, and oh, of the mouth. In the days of the flying preacherman, Ma Taffy was the same age that Kaya is now. It does not surprise her that she was once a little girl. It surprises her only that she is now so many years away from that time. And now she's going to go into telling the story of the flying preacherman. I just love it. I did watch a short interview with him, with Kei Miller earlier. He was talking about poetry, actually. He also writes poetry, kind of like becoming a poet and his influences. And so I can definitely see the poetry in his fiction writing. Okay, so I just read the first 4 chapters of Augustown, and it's really good. And we just got to a point that, like, something is about to happen. And it's always kind of a good place, I think, actually, to stop, because it like makes you excited to get back to it. So I feel thoroughly like into that book now. But I want to go back to Women Talking, because I do want to try to finish this book today. So how much more do I have? So I'm on 133 of 216. So yeah, I should be able to finish this today. So we have about 35 minutes left of the official Cozy Reading Night, Cozy Reading Afternoon. So maybe I'll take a break after that. I have some plants I need to repot. So maybe that will be something I do before it gets too hot. Yeah, I will wrap it up for you in about a half an hour. So it is 2 o'clock. That wraps up Cozy Reading midday time. Really enjoying reading both of these books, and it was really nice. I I get easily distracted by my phone mostly, or watching YouTube, BookTube on my TV. And so it's really nice to like just really set aside that time where I was vlogging, of course, and I did bake the cookies, but other than that, I wasn't distracted by other things. And so, yeah, I think it's a good exercise to do every now and then as a reminder of like how much reading you can actually get done, and how much more like focused and in-depth I can get in what I'm reading when I allow that kind of focused attention. So thank you for watching. See you around the tubes.